I have been absolutely fascinated watching everybody binge season 3 that just got released of American Sweethearts. I personally am a huge fan of the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, and after watching the Netflix documentary, went all the way back and watched all of the seasons on the original shows just so that I could get the lore behind this organization. And I'm not necessarily a dance or a football fan, but what I am a fan of and fascinated by is branding and the psychology of branding, which leads me to the deep dive that we're going to go into together today. I believe the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders is one of the most fascinating case studies in branding, the American dream, patriotism, human psychology, and hyper-realism. So let's dive right into it. This organization, led by Kelli Finglass, has made millions and millions of people believe that reality is just a little bit more magical, which is what branding, and I would argue particularly luxury branding, does and specializes in. When people talk about surprising and delighting a customer, they really are talking about world building. And even though there aren't direct customers of the DCC, there are clients and there are fans and there are people who are buying into this story and dream, which is all towards a profit, the profit of this larger Cowboys organization. And the immediate association that most people make with branding is logos, maybe color palettes and fonts, but I don't really think that that's the key to it all. Those elements, those graphic design elements, are all in support of a larger goal of world building. While watching season 3 of the show, there was a line that was said by Charlotte Tilbury when the girls were getting a makeover, and she talked about the makeup look that the DCCs are known for and talked about very rosy cheeks, a certain type of glow that makes everything in their world look almost pink washed, kind of softer. And I thought that that was really interesting and fascinating because we are quite literally, through the hair, the makeup, everything, seeing these women through rose-colored glasses. And pulling from that, we are then seeing this organization, this country, just the whole idea of being an American from the South, from the Bible Belt, through rose-colored glasses. And something that's really fascinating to me is that I consume media from all sides of all these spectrums. There are people that I listen to who are super liberal, super progressive with their thinking, and would usually get the ick from something that is as Southern, as Jesus-loving, as American as this show, but they still love the DCCs. Same with people from the other side of the political spectrum who might be Christian, maybe nationalist Christians, who of course resonate and love this dance group. And so somehow they've crossed these different borders and they have made everybody love them and just buy into this world. Now you'll see a critique of the organization and their pay practices. You'll see critiques of the individual girls, but I would say that the broad narrative in society, the broad PR, is that they are extremely hardworking, extremely talented, and extremely well-deserving of all their success. And these extremely beautiful women who kind of uphold and embody this American ideal, America's sweethearts. And something that I noticed after that Charlotte Tilbury scene as well while watching the show was that even the color grade that Netflix has chosen to use for this season in particular has this slightly pink tint and almost looks again like we're watching the show through rose-colored glasses. Now, I'm not sure if that's the commentary that Netflix was trying to make, but it's just something that I noticed, and it just feels very on brand for this entire universe. So when we think about DCC, we think about this patriotic navy. We think of this silvery chrome color, sparkles, lots of the use of pink, white boots, blonde highlights in everyone's hair, no matter how dark their original color was. All of these different visual elements put together show that a brand does not just control what they make and what they put out to the world, but the way that they're truly portrayed. And this entire world had me thinking about the French philosopher Jean Baudrillard's theory of hyper-realism, or theory of simulation. This theory talks about this state where the boundary or the border between reality and simulation, or I would even call it media, starts to dissolve and create a new reality or a new hyper-reality. Now, this happens in 4 stages. First, a reflection of reality is created. The image acts as a faithful and accurate copy of the basic reality. A sign clearly mirrors the real world. So if we're thinking about this day and age of social media, maybe we can consider very, very, very early Facebook and Instagram, where people were genuinely and truly just posting and sharing what was happening authentically in their lives. But then we move into the second stage of masking reality. Baudrillard refers to this as the order of maleficence. In this stage, the copy distorts, perverts, or misrepresents reality. It functions like a deceptive facade or a mask that hides the underlying truth. We've seen things like social media or reality TV progress into this realm where it's no longer a faithful representation of what actually is occurring or what's actually happening or even what things actually look like, but a distorted and sometimes over-glamorized or other way plasticized version of the truth. This is when we move into a little bit of more sinister territory, where in the third stage, we start to mask reality. The image pretends to be a faithful copy, but there's no original to copy from. The sign conceals the fact that actual reality no longer exists. I would say that we live in this stage 3 to stage 4, which I'll touch on very shortly here, world, where we no longer are really trying to faithfully represent reality. And if anything, we're trying to mask that. This is a lot of portraying yourself as wealthier, happier, more beautiful, or with more friends, all the different things that we do on social media, or all the different things that we see on quote, reality TV. We are trying to portray this as a truthful representation, but it is not. But the thing is that hardly anyone has any truth, absolute truth to compare this to. Thinking day to day in social media, there are people by which you have no direct contact with. Maybe they're celebrities, or maybe they're just friends that you've lost touch with. And so your version and your only source of quote truth is from how they portray on social media. And we see this happening all the time with reality stars who are semi-famous or just distant from us in other ways on platforms like Netflix. This leads to stage 4, which is called pure simulacrum. The representation no longer has any relationship to reality whatsoever. Signs, images, and media refer to other signs and images. The copy effectively becomes more real to us than the reality it replaces. An example of this is a hyper-commercialized brand where the logo is more valuable than the physical product itself. And where do we see this happening a lot? In luxury branding. Thinking about and analyzing America's Sweethearts through the lens of it being a simulacrum connects it directly, makes it an excellent case study for the state of human psychology and luxury branding today, and how to resonate with people, how to surprise and delight people, and how to build a world around your brand. Every touch point really works to tell the same story, and they have done that expertly. If there was one lesson that I could take away from DCC, it would be this. Great brands don't convince people that they are extraordinary. They create an environment where extraordinary feels normal. And that's a much harder thing to build. But when you do, people do more than buy what you make. They want to live inside your brand's world. My name's Tosin, and I'm the founding principal of Atelier Oluwatosin. We are a 360-degree branding agency who does strategy, visual design, and spatial design, ensuring that every single touch point for our clients tells the same story and brings people into the extraordinary. If you are building something, I would love to have a conversation with you. Reach out. Let's talk about your specifics. Talk very soon.